If somebody come to you and say, oh, I want to move to Africa tomorrow, what is the best African countries that would come to your mind?
Oh, man. Excellent question. Depending on who it is, I would give them a different answer. You know, what is it they're doing? Are they moving there to retire? Are they moving there to do business? Depends on what they're doing. I give them a different answer. Let me tell you why, for me, it's a difficult question. My name is Ayo Kimathi, better known as the Irritated Genie. That's a title I've carried since the 1990s. It speaks about the Haitian Revolution and that spirit to resist tyranny. I'm a social architect, author, lecturer, and I've done many trips on the African continent, an activist, primarily focused on, since 2015, the primary tagline that we've had for the work that I've been doing around the world is African survival in the 21st century. So that's a little bit about myself.
Recently, you were traveling Africa, is that right?
Yes, sir.
What your mission or your main objective of traveling the African countries?
In the beginning, I was going just as African people here in America, we want to experience our African identity. And so I thought it was hypocritical. I was in my 20s at that time in 1997. It's hypocritical to talk about being African and not go to Africa. So I wanted to go to Africa. So that's when I went to Senegal, then Ghana, then Egypt. Now when I go, my primary objective is that I believe that I'm confident that different races of people, different cultures have to defend their interests in order to survive the 21st century. There are a lot of different things that are happening. And as an African, I want to make sure that our people survive the 21st century, because we make it through the 21st century at the pace we're going to become the most powerful group of people on the planet. The Chinese probably have the balance of this 21st century because they're ahead of the game. But African people, with the youth that we have on the African continent and the way we are numbered and strategically positioned around the world, we're positioned for a powerful empire of African people and African interests. But we just have to make that happen.
If somebody come to you and say, oh, I want to move to Africa tomorrow, what is the best African country that would come to your mind?
Oh, man. Excellent question. Depending on who it is, I would give them a different answer. You know, what is it they're doing? Are they moving there to retire? Are they moving there to do business? Depends on what they're doing. I give them a different answer. Let me tell you why, for me, it's a difficult question. I am focused on African sovereignty, which has a military interest, meaning we have to be strong and able to defend our interests, which means even if it's not physically military, if there are interests that are being pushed on Black people that are not good for us, I'm interested in fighting those. So from my perspective, the best countries to go to would be the AES, Niger, Mali, or Burkina Faso. I don't even speak French, but because they're moving in a direction to be truly sovereign, which is why they're at war right now, for me, that is a place that would be ideal. But if I was just talking in general, and I'm going to say it with an if there was better leadership at the top, Kenya is a beautiful place. In East Africa, you have some of the richest soil on the continent. Between Uganda and Kenya, maybe even Rwanda and Tanzania, the soil, you can just look at it. Even if you don't know much about soil, it's just rich. You drop a seed and a tree grows. So as African people, being truly agriculture in our base, loving fruits, vegetables, and natural food, I think that East Africa really offers that. Now, Ghana as well, with better leadership. If there was better leadership in Ghana at the top, then I would say Ghana is great too, because you have the culture. Many of us in the West are from West Africa. So some of the foods have the same kind of seasoning and taste that we like. So some of the culture is similar because that's where many of us originate from. I would say if you're looking for something that's already, again, leadership and some of the things that the country does politically are problematic maybe. But in terms of a place that's just nicely put together right now, you could come in and you could live and feel comfortable. Rwanda is a place that you could just come. The streets are clean. You don't have to worry about crime. I think it's being well run. For everyone I've talked to that's been to Rwanda, it's a universal agreement that you don't have to worry about crime. There's no litter on the street. It's clean. You can go place to place. There's a certain semblance of freedom. As long as you're not, criticizing the government or trying to do anything to destabilize, you can live free and enjoy Rwanda. If you want to be somewhere most like America, then I would say South Africa. South Africa, when I ride down the street in South Africa, sometimes I literally forget that I'm in Africa. It's so Americanized, which I'm not looking for Americanization, Westernization. I'm looking for Africanization. But for those who want the comforts, you want nice homes, nice climate, you want streets are paved and things of that nature, South Africa will be a great place for a lot of people. For me, politically, the place I liked was Zimbabwe, because the people in Zimbabwe come off of a history of fighting for their freedom. So there's still a sense of political sophistication and dialogue you can have with people there, because there's still a people who are fresh off the battlefield getting their independence. So they have a strong political personality. And so when I come with things from my vantage point that may strike other Africans as a little shocking, the Zimbabwean is on board shaking their head like, we like that, because they're very political minded. If you like fresh food, like if your thing is veganism and fresh food, I've never been anywhere where the food is more fresh and right out of the ground than Uganda. It's the best place for like people that like every dish that they make that's natural or that's organic to Uganda. It's fresh. The matoke, the peanut soup, they make their own. So there's a lot of culture as it relates to the food and that environment. And you got fruits are everywhere. They cost nothing because there's so many of it. So for a person who their diet means a lot to them, Uganda is a place that they'll absolutely love. If you buy land in Uganda in the countryside, it's peaceful. The climate is perfect. Like you generally are between 75 and 78 all year round in Uganda. You got a heavy rain season, but other than that, I mean, you just have a wonderful climate and environment. Ethiopia, if you like Ethiopian culture, Ethiopia is another wonderful place. Beautiful people. And people think that there's one look in Ethiopia. There's not. There's like probably 100. I don't know the number, but there's so many ethnic groups in Ethiopia, and people look different, but they all are good looking people. It's just a funny thing. Whether I'm visiting the Hammer or the Musi, or whether I'm visiting the Bena, or it's the Tigray, or if it's the Oromo, whichever group, wherever I am in Ethiopia, I'm like, where have I ever been where everybody's attractive? Men and women alike, just a bunch of attractive people, and there's a lot of culture there. So I really enjoyed Ethiopia as well. I think for people who like the Ethiopian, the injera, the food, the way that they do things, the music and things of that nature, Ethiopia is also a place that people could look to repatriate.
What are some of the business opportunities for somebody from in America, coming from America, can invest in?
Okay. So there are multiple levels that people can invest in. So if we start on the lowest level, I actually learned this from Ethiopia. There was a brother from America. He was just an everyday brother. He didn't know anything about business. But he went and he saw that when they had the public transportation, the bus would come and it would wait until it got filled and then leave. So sometimes that would take 2 hours. Sometimes it would take 4 hours. You didn't know. And just from his basic experience here in America, he was able to say, you know what? If we put it on a time schedule and you be there by this time or not, and we're leaving, I could do something. He created his own schedule of picking people up and transporting them. He made $1 million in 1 year. So I'm using that to say from the lowest level, what happens is because we live in Americas or in the West, and there's certain things that we take for granted. When you go to Africa, all you have to do is look. Whatever they're missing, there's so many different things that are missing in different places. You pick that thing up, employ people who are there to do it, teach them and train them to do it, and do it in a way that we've already learned it works. The opportunities are unlimited. They're literally unlimited. Like, if you're into minerals, if you're into gold, silver, anything, uranium, anything that you're interested in related to trying to improve the process of either extracting mineral wealth from the ground or the process of selling it internationally, is a huge business opportunity everywhere you go. What I've seen in the African continent, the brothers and sisters on the ground are wanting opportunities. So if you can come from here and say, look, here are things that you have that we can now industrialize, and you're making them, so you're the producer, let's go and make it happen. And we bring our marketing and our structural understanding, and then get those brothers and sisters to do the things they're already doing, but now get them into stores. We could replace easily 50% of the products, I would say, in 5-year time, in most countries. 50% of the products that you see, perishable goods in particular, foods, things of that nature, that you see in the stores, we could replace those with things made by African people. And it wouldn't have to be an exploitation, because the people coming from here, the people that they're working with, would all be black people in that region. So those people would be benefiting. The person would be benefiting from creating the business. And the bottom line is, everybody on the African continent and everybody African around the world benefits from a business unification where we take the standard practice of black people from buying from others and just transition it to us producing and buying from ourselves. We've all been saying it, but what I've seen is it's not as difficult as we think. The thing is, the things we're looking at is producing the things physically. That's important. But there's another piece, and this is another thing that we can bring, business opportunity. This is one of the biggest business opportunities. Actually, I would say it's as profitable as the mineral wealth. If you can figure out, and it can be done, because someone figured out how to get black people to spend billions of dollars, black men and women, particularly women, on skin whitening products. Now, the only reason a person would buy skin whitening products if they're black is because they've been conditioned not to love their black self and to think that white is better. So there's nothing that the product is doing for them that benefits them. It only benefits their psychological mind to believe that they should destabilize their blackness to try to be something they're not. But someone becomes a billionaire off of that. Literally, knowing the science of how to get people to love themselves and to invest in themselves and to value products and goods that are made by African people over and above products and goods that are made by other people is one of the biggest businesses you can possibly do. You can go to a business and say, look, you're a black-owned business. You pay me this amount, and I can guarantee you that in 6 months, I'm going to double your sales. And then it becomes the process of using media like what you're doing right here. We're talking right now. Right now, when you put this out, it's going to affect somebody's mind and say, yeah, why are we buying skin whitening cream? Why don't I make a cream that's good for the black skin and sell it as that? But then that means that in order for it to work, we have to now transition the thinking of the people to want that. So then that means a video, music that's talking about that we're singing about loving being black and who we are. And a video where you see somebody throwing away the skin whitening cream and putting on something, and at the end, she feels beautiful and loves herself. This is all psychology that everybody else around the world, to get the objectives that they want, pay billions of dollars for this kind of stuff. This is a huge industry for everyone else. Let me say it and be more specific. For the individuals in Asia and Europe and around the world who make billions of dollars off of black self-hatred, they pay people. They don't just figure it out. They pay people to say, what are the weaknesses in the black mind? Then how do we capitalize off of that? So someone was paid to figure out how to take our money and make them billionaires. We have to do the same thing. It's just how it works. How do we teach self-love to take those billions of dollars that are going out and now it comes back in? And even if they have a superior product on Monday, because we won't buy it, it's not black owned, we will have the time to take our products and make them superior because we only buy our own products. We can do that. But we now have to challenge taking control of the African mind. That's the business.